back to spend our paper on feminine divinity and the matriarch and patriarch conflict part 2. Here we are going to go through Elohim and feminine life designs. We're going to cover this subject. How interesting is it then when you see Anton Park's claim that the Elohim were females, life designers, and that Elohim is a female word to begin with, having Aryan origins. Aryans from Orion. Okay. A large majority of the myths and legends about ancient Earth talk about female visitors from elsewhere, and we don't need to go farther than to our own Bible. In Genesis, the word Elohim, meaning feminine goddess and plural, is usually translated as God. The term Elohim is divided in Sumerian Akkadian as El-U-Him, El-U-Himaim, the powerful high that mixed the clay called men. This Elohim form an association of ethnic and cultural planners who work directly with and for Source, the highest of all. This source contains a female energy, that of Mother Goddess. These female beings are in conflict with the male authority of the Sumerian texts or the Sirius, the so-called Anunnaki in Zechariah 16's epos. The Earth Chronicles, the female life designers belong to a group of beings Park called Cadiz 2. A word I've learned is Aryan Orion in its origin. And I found out one thing, that female cats does not like males, not just the cats male, but they also don't like the human males unless you have brought her up, then she will be close to you. But if you live in a house, suppose you are a male, you have a wife or a daughter who has a female cat, she will always be together with your wife or your daughter, and always they will run away from you. I don't know why, but doesn't mean that all males are evil. I know that there's many cruel women out there. Okay, however, I don't know why the female cats behave this way. But some males, mostly who are cruel are the males. There's many evil male out there. The root word is the Aryan word Ka, DHS2, where Ka is pertaining to the life force or the void. DH denotes in Genesis. A meaning at the side of SU is causative T when it stands alone, emphasizes the feminine, and a U is plural. The interesting thing with this interpretation is that I translated myself into the Aryan language after an anonymous source taught me the basic structure and grammar of the Aryan language. The rest was quite easy. I showed my translation to this person who approved it. So Cadiz 2 is Aryan and means something similar to life force and the beginning of time, standing at the side of the causative female and they are more than one in numbers. In both Sumerian, Akkadian, as well as the Aryan, yeah, they are female, like 30. Poor girls have to battle this break who's there from serious what. And the worst things that they have damaged here at the earth human, and to make these males here believe that human are worthless, human are useless, human are weaker, etc. And there's so many abuse here, even towards females, little females like the children. So many abuse, in all ways, shape and form, even culturally wise, where boys are chosen over female in certain culture of the East. Albeit nowadays, at least they are thinking better and they are abolishing this kind of stupid culture of choosing males over females, which I find stupid and absurd, ridiculous, even when the multiverse was created, once first created by the female energy, and this saddens me to know that everything have been thwarted here, and the human is the most that suffer. And I guess that they will need a female companion, ethereal spirit female companion, one that is very brave and a warrior to protect them, one that is poisonous even. The Aryan language, from which the first two stem, one long word like card, these two consist of 6 words if you count them. Card is two, all meaning something different, but when connected with each other via dots or hyphens respectively, they build a concept and is a compromised way of presenting alien language in the human Latin alphabet. Wow! Latin, huh? And what I found very funny is that there is entities who uses these humans here as a vessel to pass a message, to say that it is only the males here who oppresses the female, when it's not true. Offward too, we have this problem with Orion, and it is everlasting, perpetual conflict with Sirius, the word of the misogynistic males. This word carries too is evidence which tells us that there is a female life force in the universe, because that's what the word means. As we shall see, the absolute majority of the Cadiz too are females, but there are few exceptions. Not only does the word go back to Sumerian times, but it's clearly Aryan in origin, or I wouldn't have been able to translate it. The translation fits perfect with the Sumerian and Akkadian word standing for. The causative female, a mother goddess herself, is mother goddess herself. The war on females in early historic, and still in early history, still now, feminicide in the making right now, and nobody does nothing to stop it. And even the human are still falling for these traps when they are looking for one relationship after another, especially so young females get into relationship heady, um, heady force without thinking, going down the abysm. Even after the ultimate political religious patriarchs got their stronghold here on earth, Mother Goddess cults were still present, but were often secretive and hiding. Why? Why she would do that, Paul? The patriarchal movement was terrified of them, or the PM. In fact, these groups practicing the feminine religion, PM, patriarchal movement, PM, that's what many women get, PM, yes. In fact, these groups practicing the feminine religion from the stars could easily break their control over mankind if the truth become known. We know from history that the powerful Catholic Church, for example, saw human as something they could beat, torture, rape, and enslave. Really? Really? Well, I didn't see this in my culture as a Catholic, as a Roman Catholic. We were the matriarch. The same I don't see in other religions and culture. That's because the male took over the Catholic Church. It's a feminine religion per se. Okay? It's not like the others religion out there who are asking women to wear all those veils, cover up, go out, must tell the male, must tell the husband, even come have this absurd thought about telling women, if you go out of the house and you don't tell your husband, 1,000 angels will go around knocking your head until you return home. Yeah, they say that. Do I have to tell what religion is that? No. The religion that forces women to wear a veil. Okay, they say that. And it's not the Catholic Church that throw a woman out of the house and tell her not to pray or touch a holy book if she have menstruation. It's not the Catholic. So what's a problem with Catholic Church? Huh? Also, it was promoted that a woman had no soul. There's no sense, dude. You must tell. I think you want to tell another religion, talk about another religion, but you don't have the courage. Is it? If this is not a sign of the church being terrified of the divine feminine, I don't know what it is. That's rubbish. I never see this. My sister married. She was the queen of the house and outside the house. Now she never allowed her husband to rule over her. Never. Me too. My mother also. Today, the witch hunt on humans have decreased drastically. Yeah, but still there's witch hunting, killing them as feminicide. Huh? Because they start to be they try to be more spoken, more opinionated, and the males cannot handle that. They are killing the human and their children for nothing. Has decreased drastically, but human is still open, classified, and second-hand citizens. Sure. And in the Arab countries, the Muslim human must wear a veil. Exactly, much more than that. Cannot hold their book if they are menstruated. They cannot. In Islam, humans are forbidden to touch the Quran if they are having menstruation. They are not to take part in any religious activities, and not to fast if they have menstruation, or pray, do their prayer. Cannot. As you all know, and is the man's property. Yeah, is the man's property, correct? Cannot go out of the house. Must ask permission with the husband. Say no, she cannot go. These countries never go out of, and I still is stuck in the horror of the Dark Ages. In these countries, very little has changed over the centuries. So it's worse than the Roman Catholic, isn't it? And if the woman disobeying husband, the husband has the right to beat her up. In 1948, Pope Innocent VIII, what the name of a tyrant? Pope Innocent VIII, what the name of a tyrant, decided that the Inquisition should start hunting down the old matriarchal religion. The publication in 1986, Maleficarum, the name is Maleficarum, the witch's hammer, a work of the dominations, Heinrich Kramer and Johann Spranger, laid the ground for the tyranny which spread through Europe and North America and lasted for more than 2 centuries. My goodness, how many poor ladies were murdered just because they didn't follow the Catholic religion or any other religion, or they disobey husband, or they were herbalists. An estimate 90 million heretics, and this same practice was not only in Europe, it was almost all over the world. Not just Europe and North America, that's not true. 85% of them human children or young girls whom the church thought had inherited the evil of their mothers were murdered. In the medieval Catholic Church, human and their sexuality was evil incarnation. Thanks God, they brought Catholicism to Latin America and did a drastic change, a better change. Aliso in Brazil. Northeast Brazil. Definition of witch. Because of the Catholic Church and their genocide of human, we often think of the word witch as something negative and evil. But how about if we break down this word as well to see where it comes from? Ancient Parks was actually doing this in an interview with Carmapolis. In the Sumerian language, the root to the word witch is according to Parks Miuzu. The single decomposition of Miuzu gives us the human with the secretion, with the human venom knowledge. The Sumerian homophony game will still give us some additional details without distorting the original meaning of the term. If we switch you, us and me, or us and me, we obtain Mizu, or wise human and blood, or the human who raises the knowledge, or wisdom. Again, the patriarchal movement doesn't want us to know about the divine feminine. So they are killing all movements which are trying to put the record straight. Of course, not every witch knows the whole story about the divine feminine, but the global elite takes no chance. Cosmogony from a new point of view. According to many involved stories out there, allegedly the universe is not neutral. For energy to be aware, it has to be conscious. And for it to be conscious, it will have to be able to identify with things, example, feelings, male and female, neuter, cannot experience this and is nothing. Much like a person whose nervous system feels nothing. They are in a vegetative state and are deemed mentally dead. Digares is the ultimate creator, at least as far as it is known by older, more evolved beings in the multiverse. She is the void which quantum physicists like LPGC are talking about is surrounding the perceived egg-shaped unum or multiverse. But the unum as depicted in a 2D form is only model, of course. In reality, the 96% void is all intertwined. It is among us and around us and within us. It's the black space that scientists can't explain because they don't know what it is and what it does. So it's also very predominant in 4 space-time and in time-space, which is the other. Hence, it is very interesting when we hear from scientists that they are supposedly starting to understand how the universe works. I wonder, why doesn't their master teach them that? Why doesn't they teach those serious people? In Tai Chi, why they don't teach them about this? Or these beings, the Anunnakis also doesn't know, is it? They also don't know. I would say that they are still in kindergarten at best. At least when it comes to the knowledge they release to the public. Yeah, why their serious master don't teach them that? Behind the scenes they know so much more. But remember, they too are working for the patriarchy. Exactly. But now the question is, why doesn't the Anunnakis who they serve help them in that and teach them? Or they don't want to disclose? I think they don't want to disclose the truth. The first thing we need to understand is that the core, the void, is intelligent energy. It is the essence of the mother goddess and therefore feminine. Those who say they have experienced the car and explain as being a nothingness, I did. But a nothingness of a bliss without the thought, emotions, or any other of the senses normally are used to. It's just because of that we are not used to this kind of energy. All people I've heard of whom have been there all say it is a place of pure love, unconditional love. And for it to be that, it can't be a nothingness or neutral, or it would be totally void of any emotions or sensations. The real problem is that we humans, with our limited perceptions, can't understand the raw goddess energy, and the above is the best way those who have experienced it can describe it. However, the energy is still feminine. If you don't understand the 96% of the universe and can't even claim to know the 4%, how much do you really understand of reality? And some people say there are no ETs from other dimensions. How? These are stupid people. How can they be so sure when we who live in the 4% actually the ones in minority? Think about it. Fun that those who offer this claim about the existence of ETs, or who debunk these findings and say that this is just the mental disease or schizophrenia. Those who see ETs as schizophrenic, I ask them always, okay, you don't want to believe something that you see and there's already proof, but you believe in a God that you don't see, a fake God who are actually though it is you refuse to believe they exist, and also belief is not worship. This is distinctive, both word is not interchangeable, it's distinct. I may believe in everything, but I don't have to worship anything, isn't it? Scientists also say we use only up to 10% of our brain capacity, and that's who does is lucky enough. It is understand this, and like David Icke says, dark is only dark because humanity and its technology can't tune into it and make it manifest and its reality. The Pleiadians expands on this thought by saying, your planet must learn who the goddess is as a creator. You must. Understanding the dark side of the goddess is part of exploring her energy, because the goddess did something to lose her power. It is in the cells of your being, because all of you, men and human alike, have the goddess within you. The goddess is going to be birthed through you, whether you're male or female. There was a decline and fall of the goddess for very important reasons. What those reasons were will be clearly explained later on in these papers. In the Aryan cosmogony, the feminine omniverse, which is alive and whom they call the goddess, once upon a time created the physical universes as a way to express herself throughout the dimensions. She appointed the builders, creator gods, or the Elohim, with females energies, who then in service of the mother went out and created galaxies, stars, planets, and seeded life on them. But the life force in this universe sprung from the galactic centers, and by rotating a spiral pattern, life extended outwards towards the fringes. Hence, the oldest stars in general should be found in the outskirts of the galaxy, one would think, but this is not always the case. Stars are popping up everywhere because they are evolving creator gods themselves, ready to let others see the life on their own heavenly bodies. There are many star systems or headquarters of sorts, for the Orion Empire is said to be the star system Mintaka in a constellation of Orion, some 900 light years from Earth. The history of the Orion Empire could probably fill up volumes of books, as I always can sense a story behind a story when I research star races. It appears that Orion in present time is an overall rather peaceful empire, but there are indications that it hasn't always been that way. They too have of course gone through stages of evolution, where conquest was a big part of it, according to most research on Earth. The Aryans spent millions of years conquering space and were involved in a number of galactic wars before they became more spiritually oriented and evolved into empires with principal laws and policies. They also became master geneticists. Eh? After billions of years of seeding the universe, the Aryans had a vast majority of inhabited star systems in the Milky Way and other galaxies joining Orion. The Queen's Empire became known as the Orion Empire, or the Aryan Empire, or Ari, or Mary. N means mother, and N means extension of something, or Orion, the heavenly empire, in Aryan language. Hence we have Aryan meaning extension of mother, Aryan empire. This is where the name is Mary or Marianne came from. The later also mean extension of the mother. The English language has a lot of Aryan origins to it. Over time, the Orion Empire grew to an incomprehensibly vast empire, spanning across the universe and even extending to other universes. This is why it is so hard when you talk about different star races here on Earth and where they come from. If someone says a star race comes from Lyra, we may still be talking about the Orion Empire because at least part of the lighter constellation is part of the empire. So it can be pretty confusing if we are not aware of how vast it is. I'll go into this some more as we move on. The aliens and most evolved alien races are not 3D-dimensional beings like we are, but multi-dimensional and interdimensional in nature. These are specially designed souls, so they don't change because one of their bodies would be killed or die in one way or the other. We can perhaps compare it to the Dalai Lama. When he dies, they look for a new Dalai Lama who has a new younger body, but still supposedly a reincarnation of an earlier Dalai Lama. So the aliens and most evolved alien race are not 3D-dimensional beings like we are, but multi-dimensional and interdimensional in nature. But this world is three-dimensional within this universe of the solar system, but they are in a different frequency, something like that. So their frequency is multi-dimensional. What's the fact-wise is that we are still in the 3D frequency, whereas they are in much higher from 40, not density, but force frequency onwards. These are specially designed the soul, so they don't change because one of their bodies would be killed or die in a way or the other. We can perhaps compare it to the Dalai Lama when he dies. They look for a new Dalai Lama who has a new younger body. Furthermore, the aliens talk about the fire, which is another word for soul. In Orion, they look at souls as fires, photons. The origin of this fire stems then naturally from the mother goddess, the 96% dark energy matter, and is thus feminine in nature. Sexes came into the picture much later. It's my understanding that sex as a way of reproducing is, if not rare, not the most common way to reproduce in the universe. Hence so many non-physical star races want to come down here to have sex. That sucks, man. We don't need to go all through this. There's another way to reproduce. And that's how they do that. The aliens. In the beginning, star races, and we also can do. Just take sperm and mix up eggs and bingo, the human is pregnant minus sex. In the beginning, star races were cloning and or used genetic engineering to create more of their own species. This may sound odd to us, but it's quite a convenient way to create new vessels for the souls when the old ones, in a way or the other, is beyond repair. In the beginning, star races were cloning or used genetic engineering to create more of their own species. This may sound odd to us, but I love this idea of cloning. But it's quite a convenient way to create new vessels for the souls when the old ones in one way or the other is beyond repair. That's good. Very smart. But why they have stopped us from using this technology for? Why? You have to have sex or go to all this nonsense of hell here, of attack and maniac people and care about sex and think about sex 24/7. And if that come a lot of problem, diseases, viruses, rapes, aggressions, unwanted pregnancies, unwanted babies, unloved babies, etc. And babies that are thrown in garbages. Interdimensional, it is don't die in the sense we do. There is no that. So, if these entities could reproduce through sex, their species would pretty soon be overpopulated. Yeah, like yes, for what? Don't have, there is food for everybody, but it's not distributed equally, and many have to suffer and suffer from hunger and famine. However, this has happened, as Jorge Lobuno describes in his fascinating book Alien Mind, which can be downloaded for free. Okay, the cosmic orgasm. So that's all we have for now. End of part 2 for this segment.